A lot of our students come and inform us that they have a difficult time talking to strangers, may it be a client or may it be talking to a customer from a customer service team. And the problem they face is that it's easier for them to talk to friends and family and even office colleagues, but when new people comes around, it becomes more intimidating and challenging. Now, there are various reasons why you might find it intimidating and challenging talking to the strangers. First of all, a stranger is a stranger. It's outside of your comfort zone. So you might feel a little higher pressure and a need for validation to make a good impression on them. That can also be compounded by the fact that those strangers can actually be important. For example, an important client. You don't only feel, but you are compelled by your surrounding and your needs as a business owner or maybe a representative of a business to make sure that you actually make a good impression on that particular client. And that really adds more anxiety and performance pressure. And as I've mentioned before in the past, that spoken English and fluency is performing arts. You need to get used to being able to do it well in front of people. Yes, it's good if you can do it in private, but eventually you will have to do it in the public. And talking to the strangers is just a part of the entire big picture there. Now, what can one do to improve their spoken English communication skills when it comes to talking to strangers, particularly a stranger that has an important bearing on their future? Well, first of all, I would say is that everyone should find more and more opportunities to get used to speaking to strangers. You should, the best and the easiest ways to improve your social circles, probably if you live in an apartment in a society, go outside and talk to more people there. Or if you work in a particular, even at the work, try to take on more opportunities, right? When there are more inter-team interactions happening, try to speak up. If you're in a meeting where you don't interact with a lot of people in general, try to have a more conversation or even try to speak in front of those meetings. These small steps will help you become more confident about yourself, your spoken English skills, and in general about talking to more people, which will help you when you're going to be talking to strangers as well. Because in general, all human beings share certain common traits which could be used as a conversation topics. Which brings up to me another second part of the solution, that it's wise to have certain conversational topics at hand in all surroundings so that you can always make small talk. Yes, if you are in a business conversation, you would probably be talking on the agenda, but in that case, you might actually come prepared to what the agenda is. But even in a business conversation, you might, just before the business conversation is about to start, a meeting is about to start, a client dinner is about to start, you might actually have to make some small talk to get comfortable with each other. And this is where it's worthwhile to know a certain amount of topics that are evergreen, which could be used, and you could use them to kickstart conversations. One of the classic, as always, has been weather, but weather can get a little boring and redundant very quickly. It's very useful if the weather is actually quite extreme. Maybe it's an extreme hot, it's an extreme cold, there is extreme storms coming around. In those settings, it's actually very easy to just kickstart the weather conversation and maybe build on something on top of that. Other could be sports, particularly in India. Cricket is a big thing. If something around cricket is happening, may it be IPL or may it be World Cup, you can actually always bring it as a topic and share your passion and enthusiasm as well. When we human beings show more excitement and emotion about something, it just makes it easier to connect. Second, just practice your basic introduction more and more often so that you can recite yourself, because what happens is when people fumble with the introduction, then the rest of the conversation just goes bad. And finally, you can just bring around topics like hobbies and pets as well. Again, when you have these conversations with the strangers, do not linger too much on anything, maybe just not more than a minute of these conversations. Obviously, you need to get to a place where you have a more objective and well-defined conversations and not just having small talks. But yes, by following these ideas and patterns, you should be able to have a better time talking to the strangers. Remember, talking to strangers is hard, but it is not impossible. There are people and there are human beings, and the things that interest you, your friends and family will also interest strangers. All you have to do is build that comfort zone and you should be good to go.